Robert the ex-con last night, he's, doing the same, well, not last night, 2 nights ago. This is July 8th, 2021. I want to speak about the events that happened on Thursday night, July 8th, 2021. Happened after dark, right? After dark. Again, they want to pick on puppies. Big, tough men want to pick on puppies. But first, I want to give some context. So, we know for sure that Hiram Richardson and Jacqueline Mitchell are criminal, low-life, white trash pieces of shit. We know this. We got pictures. We got evidence. We saw this. So their son, nicknamed Norman Bates, he gets a check. So on top of being, criminal pieces of shit, they're also on welfare. So thanks a bunch, welfares, thanks a bunch, welfare, thanks a bunch, liberals. They get a check. So if they would have invested it wisely, right, they should be fine. I mean, not everybody, I don't get a check, they get a check. And on top of it, they're going to, rob other people. Why does Hiram Richardson need to steal? Jacqueline Mitchell, Norman Bates, why do you need to steal the sweat of other people's labor? They worked for that stuff. They earned that. You can't just take other people's stuff. That's criminal. But that's who Jacqueline Mitchell, Norman Bates, and Hiram Richardson are. They're wicked, criminal, white trash pieces of shit. They're fucking thieves. They're motherfucking piece of shit thieves. So when I speak about the Mickey Mouse Club, the Mickey Mouse KKK, the racist, fascist criminals in Costilla County, that's who I'm talking about. Jacqueline Mitchell, Norman Bates, Hiram Richardson, RV Junkyard Guy, James E. Bax, or Eunice F. Bowman, or their tenants, whoever that is. And then the Zins, Kevin and Troy, and Kenneth Capen Jr. So these douchebags, and plus Bobby something, Robert something, right? Robert the ex-con. Robert the ex-con just comes out of nowhere. Who is he? Don't know. He's a douchebag, so Robert the douchebag, no. We're going to just Robert the ex-con, because who is Robert? So one good thing about planning and zoning is if you go through planning and zoning, you got to prove that you actually are allowed to be on the piece of ground that you're on. But we don't know nothing about Robert the ex-con. It looks like he's 50-something years old. So these are the Mickey Mouse KKK Club. Now I'm going to run for sheriff so I can question these people and most likely arrest them. I've witnessed several crimes and no telling what other criminal activities that they are a part of. I'm a peaceful, lawful, law-abiding citizen. I don't know precisely what to do, but I came out here to raise my family in a nice, crime-free community, and that's precisely what I intend to do. So Hiram Richardson, he claims he's the mayor, more like the mayor whore. He's actually just a low-life criminal piece of shit. You want to sit there and tell me you're an anarchist? Yeah, okay, so what happens when you have a bunch of criminal pieces of shit? So people come out here, right? Yeah, okay, hey, anyways, people come out here. This is what Hiram Richardson and, the Mickey Mouse KKK Club, they've done about a dozen times. The Mickey Mouse Club, so people come to Costilla County, they'll start building their houses, but they do it legally. They go through the planning and zoning process the way you're supposed to. So they'll build a little bit of their house, and then they'll go somewhere because they, have to get some more money, and then they'll come back. They don't want to, buck the system or what have you. But while they've got their partially built house, Hiram Richardson comes in, robs them, cleans them out, lights a fire, and then, laughs about it, thinks it's hilarious. So the Mickey Mouse KKK, that's what the Mickey Mouse KKK is doing out here in Costilla County. They've done it at least a dozen times that I know of. And it's just, there's only 10 to 20 people here just in a 2-mile radius. How many houses can burn down in a 2-mile radius before somebody starts to think, that seems a little suspicious? So that's who the Mickey Mouse KKK Club is. Now, Robert the ex-con, he's staying on Roark Sandberg's property. That's just like the McDonald's. So I need to call Roark Sandberg because he keeps sending this trash out here. Roark Sandberg's property. But unlike the McDonald's, Bobby actually doesn't own the land. He's illegally squatting on. He hasn't contacted planning and zoning. He doesn't intend to be in compliance with the law. He doesn't have a conscience. He hasn't contacted planning and zoning. He's been harassing me, and he's bringing criminals around my neighborhood. So, big shocker, huh? Somebody who don't want to listen to the planning and zoning laws are a bunch of criminal fucks who hangs out with criminal fucks. Big fucking shocker there. So last night was awesome. I just kind of want to laugh about this for now. When I first got here, I wanted to be neighborly with the neighbors, but they're criminal pieces of shit, so they couldn't wait to show their criminal piece of shit selves. And just some, I guess, funny moments. Now, Hiram Richardson, I talked to him 3 times. One time he's all methed out. I saw him 4 times. One time at the post office, and he about pissed and shit himself, which was awesome. I didn't even recognize him. I didn't know who the hell it was. Fucking pipsqueak motherfucker. So, Hiram Richardson, when I first came out here, he was missing a dog, you know, and then I came out here 2 months later, and then he again said he was missing a dog. It's almost like, motherfucker, you're just trying to find out information and shit. And then he calls dibs on Jinx, and it's like, man, I'm not trying to take... Get the fuck out of here. I was, you know, kind and nice, but that motherfucker, expects me to... He's a hypocrite. So, Hiram Richardson, I talked to him those 2 times. He was missing his, you know, fake dog. Yeah, I'm sure you're missing your fucking dog, you piece of shit. And then, another time I was talking to him, he was hanging out at Tartaria Nick's house, and they was all skitsed out. He was all skitsed out. He was all like, I don't know if he's on meth or not, but his house looks like it's on meth. His house is just run down, piece of crap. It just looks like fucking garbage. Just looks like somebody just pissed and shit on the entire house and just kept pissing and shitting on it. It looks like it's on meth. Hiram Richardson is a fucking pipsqueak. And I have to sit here and get harassed by a pipsqueak? Man, I'm glad that I called the police 2 nights ago, and I'm glad that they showed up. They don't always show up. It's usually hit or miss with, but they showed up last night, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So, let's see. Hold on. Let's make sure. Do I want to talk about... I'll talk about them later on. So, oh, yeah, no, I want to laugh about them. Okay, so... Jinx and Norman Bates, they tried to murder my dogs many times over just to rob me, right? My dogs protect my house and my family, and they want to fuck over my family, fuck over my house, right? They're thieves, they want to steal. So they don't like, you know, the puppies that are protective of other people's things, right? Because they're, you know, thieves. They don't have any character, they don't have a conscience, they're just empty, hollowed out husk. And they're cold to the bone. They got no feelings. They don't give a shit. They're dead on the inside. No telling when they died, but they died a long time ago. They're just zombies. So, Jinx the zombie and Norman Bates the zombie. Jinx, dozens of times, they tried to run over the dogs, kidnap Timid, kidnap Arrow, try to run over Shakti. Dozens of times. Dozens of times. On top of being a criminal piece of shit. Also, a person is just a terrible person to have in the neighborhood. Jesus Christ. They tried to kidnap and run over the dog. Jesus Christ. Dozens of times. That's who Jacqueline Mitchell is. That's who Jacqueline Mitchell is and her 20-year-old Norman Bates' son. They also left this big mess out here. Sarge, I mean, there's arsonists, right? There's been about a dozen arsons out here. Well, apparently Sarge, their dad or grandpa or something, had burned himself in the house. Are you sure it wasn't one of you all? Did you all not light his house on fire? Are you sure? I don't believe, because they left it a mess. These pieces of crap, they don't care about keeping the community clean. They don't care about keeping their own property clean. That, you know, Sarge, it still just looks like, you know, when did it burnt down 5 years ago? It looks like the same way that it did 5 years ago. So, yeah, these fucking pieces of shit are trying to kidnap people's puppies, trying to run over people's puppies. And this is after my puppy was already killed, which they already know about it. And the coyotes was howling, so these are, you know, the fucking piece of shit coyotes. Jinx, Norman Bates, they like to drive in front of my house doing these little stop and goes, right? Like, ooh, maybe I have a gun, maybe I don't, right? They like to do these stop and goes, but there's a time when they were driving right here and it just rained or snowed, and they were doing a stop and go trying to intimidate me, and they got stuck in the fucking mud and just started spinning out all over the place. Stupid motherfuckers. If they didn't slow down, they wouldn't have got stuck in the mud, but they needed to be the abusive, fucking, criminal, low-life, sick motherfuckers that they are. So, Thursday night, July 8th, 2021. Not last night. There was shit happening last night. There was shit happening a couple days ago. It's kind of always shit that's happening. So Robert the ex-con, this asshole right over here, it's not, there's 5-acre lots, and so he's like about 1,000 foot away. Now, Robert the ex-con, he's a full-grown-ass man, 50-something-year-old man who likes to flash his flashlight at my puppies who they spend their time up at the upper loft. They like to spend time up there. And he likes to shine a light on my dogs to get them barking, and they think it's, him and his little male friend he just got a new male friend. They like to snicker. They'll sit there and shine a light on my puppies, and then they'll get all mad and start barking, and then oh my gosh, we are so cool, and we're so... I feel like if you're going to fuck with people's puppies, you'd probably fuck with people's children. That's what I feel like. Now, the Mickey Mouse KKK, they've changed their ways. It kind of got confusing, So maybe 6 months ago, I believe it was douchebag Kenneth Capen Jr., who was doing the drive-by shootings. Hiram Richardson, he did some shooting too. This is before I knew even who he or what the hell was going on. So the Mickey Mouse Club, the KKK, when they were doing these slow drive-bys, just real slow, just real slow drive-bys, I had a spotlight that broke, but I had a spotlight that I was, getting on. Anybody driving slow in my fucking neighborhood? What the fuck you doing around here, motherfucker? Why are you driving so slow and stupid? Jesus Christ. There's, with all the goddamn bullshit that happens around here, I don't like this hooliganism. The hooliganism on top of the criminals? Fuck you. You guys are the criminals. You're the criminals. Come on, Kenneth Capen Jr., how many houses have you burnt down? Kenneth Capen Jr., how much stuff have you stolen? Be honest, Kenneth. So, Mickey Mouse, KKK, they were doing drive-by shootings. And there was, I got, shot out about maybe 2 times with the drive-by shootings. And the second time, I thought it was because I put the light, when I put the spotlight on the dude, who I think is, douchebag Kenny, but it could have been somebody else. Who knows? That, there's still a mystery. I don't know who actually killed Tecumseh yet. So which is it, you criminal motherfuckers? This is, to the Mickey Mouse KKK Club. We are shining lights at each other, or we're not shining lights. We are shining, or we're not. These pieces of shit are fucking hypocrites. I can understand the rationale. If you shine lights at night, well, hell, there could be a gun on the other side. That's what poachers do. Isn't that what a poaching piece of shit will spotlight a poor defenseless deer and then, shoot them? So at nighttime, I don't, that's, motherfuckers driving slow as shit at nighttime. There were all this criminality. All this criminality wasn't here when I first got here. All this criminality wasn't here when I first got here, November 2019. It was nice and quiet. One of the criminals had got locked up for 40 years, and then that kept all the other criminals quiet around here. It kept them at bay. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear a peep out of Jacqueline Mitchell or Hiram Richardson or the Zins or douchebag Kenny. I didn't hear nothing from none of these criminal motherfuckers. For about 6 or 7 months, you could go bike riding, you could take your dog for a walk. It was so nice out here. My God, I would definitely would have recommended Costilla County for any, good families that want to. But now I found out that there's only 10 or 20 people out here. All this fucking effort to be criminal motherfuckers. Imagine if we were about democracy or, solidarity or looking over each other's backs and helping each other with each other's houses. Imagine if we were like that. But no, we're not going to do shit like that. So the police took one of their criminals out, locked him up for 40 years, and that kept the criminals at bay. That kept them nice and quiet. Things were so good around here. And then, bam, my fucking puppy gets ran over maliciously, intentionally. Motherfucker drives down the road, drives into Jacqueline Mitchell's house and Norman Bates' house like they knew him. Probably didn't know him, right? I mean, they sit there and snicker. Well, oh, we made your puppy bark. Ha, ha, ha. That's fucking funny. Yeah, right. So they drives into, Jacqueline Mitchell's driveway, pulls back out, drives back, slow as shit, waits for my dog to go out there, and he, is standing off to the side, but in the road, and then he guns it. He stops the truck so the dog would go into front of us Was it that scary, that puppy? That puppy was real vicious and scary, huh? But ever since that moment, that changed everything. That changed everything. There were some people I was trying to be friends with, but ever since that moment, they chose sides. They couldn't empathize. They got the emotional intelligence of a scrap of frog shit. So instead of saying, hey, lawful, peaceful citizens, let's unite and stop these criminal motherfuckers, that's not who these sons of bitches around here by the Lobato Bridge, Costilla County, southwest Costilla County. That's not who these motherfuckers are around here. Stand up for what's right? Go after the bad guys? That is not who these 10 to 20 people are out here. So yeah, like the KKK just circling a peaceful, lawful black man. The KKK is, yeah, that's, you know, fucking Robert the ex-con. He's got the arsonist driving around the fucking community thinking what? That he's keeping fucking order or some shit? He's the protector of everybody, you stupid motherfucker. You're the chicken who is telling Colonel Sanders to, So, you know, even though Robert, the ex-con, has been shining his light at me for the last 5 days, it's not him doing the slow drive-bys around my house. I believe it's douchebag Kenny, and I think that there's a green SUV and then another gray SUV. But I know that Robert, the ex-con, he sanctions and approves it. How the fuck are they going to ignore motherfuckers? They drive around their houses. They drive around all their houses, and they're, you know, big tough guys, right? But they're going to let him do slow drive-bys all around their house. That's the arsonist, you stupid motherfuckers. You stupid fucks. How many houses have you burnt, douchebag Kenny? Douchebag Kenny, how much shit have you stolen from good, honest people who actually knows the, you know, value of a honest day's work? Has that douchebag Kenny ever fucking worked a day in his fucking life? How much goddamn welfare is he getting? So I know Robert the ex-con, he sanctions and approves all of it. I don't know if he's behind it or a part of it, but the shit that happened on Thursday night, you got this desolate field out here. This field is desolate. I don't know who even goes out that way. I would say maybe once every month there's somebody drives out in Kenneth County. There's the Bureau of Land Management. So the Bureau of Land Management, what happened on Thursday is, you know, they're just flashing lights at me. But I'm looking at this damn light, you know, from a distance, and it's nighttime. So it's driving slow as fuck. The headlights are kind of pointed directly towards me. But I'm thinking, I give him a benefit of that, you know, probably just old dude going back home, going to work, going to some fucking place, right? So driving slow, got his headlights towards me. You know, I'll pay no mind to it, do my thing. And then he comes right over here above Bruce's house. So there's the Rio Grande, Costilla County is on this side, Kenneth County is on that side. The Lobato Bridge is right up here. The Utes actually stayed over here by the Gorge. And so you had the, I believe it's douchebag Kenny driving slow, drives up to the top of the hill, looks like he's going to go down and go about his way, but no, he stops and turns around, and then he's, you know, looking the opposite direction. And then, just to make sure that I know that, you know, I know that he's out there, he flashes, you know, a light at me. So, hey, douchebag Kenny, I thought we weren't flashing lights at each other. We are or we're not? I mean, you keep going, you're a hypocritical piece of shit, and I know you don't have no fucking consistent goddamn principles whatsoever, goddamn ever. So, piece of shit fucking douchebag Kenny's driving real slow like a creep, like the creepy fucking creep that he is. And he's driving real slow, turns around, and he, you know, parks up on the hill. It's about a mile away. I would say about 5,000, maybe 3,000, 5,000 feet. So you got Robert the ex-con right here, flashing his lights like he's been doing for the last 5 days. And then you got piece of shit motherfucker way out there by the goddamn, you know, fucking hills in Kenneth County. And actually, it's an interesting spot because I guess I should call Kenneth police next time because he said that wasn't his jurisdiction. But what, the feds are supposed to, so somebody could commit a crime and then just sit out there and the feds, and if it's not the Kenneth County or the feds, nobody's going to go out there? That's some bullshit. But, and then, yeah, as he's driving off, I flashed my light back at him. And then as he's driving away, slowly, he brakes a couple times, you know, to try to really put the scare in me, to try to really amp up the intimidation. But he's driving away, right? He's driving away. Well, immediately after this had happened, so I don't always call the police. Like I said, it's basically hit or miss, and if it's something tiny and then they get here and then it's like, you know, they'll just get annoyed at me or whatever. So immediately after I saw that this motherfucker's driving real slow on the hill, douchebag Kenneth Capen is, you know, being the douchebag that he is, and then Robert the ex-con is being the douchebag that he is, and that the male buddy, so you got two guys there that, you know, nobody knows who the hell they are. Nobody in Costilla County, the sheriff doesn't know, nobody knows who they are. The planning and zoning doesn't know. So these people are just, you know, I guess that's it, really, just flashing lights at my house. But with the way the drive-bys and the criminality and all the fucking crazy shit that's happened, the hooliganism, how can you be for sure if somebody is at nighttime driving around your house, they don't have a gun behind that light? You can't be for sure, but you probably can't be, you know, frankly, I think he's a criminal piece of shit, so there's no consistency to the motherfucking thing. But just, you know, tongue-in-cheek, they've changed their fucking policy. I thought their policy was don't shine lights at each other. Now it's let's shine lights at each other all the fucking time. So they're being fucking pieces of shit, right? My puppy protects my house, and they want to steal what's in my house. So it's not the dog that they're mad about. It's like my dogs don't go running around. They don't go stealing. I'm not like these criminal motherfuckers over here. I'm protective of my dogs. I'm protective of my puppies. The whole idea of actually getting puppies is I'm practicing for a family. You start out with plants and animals, and then, so if you're fucking with my puppies, it makes me think you're going to fuck with my fucking family. Yeah, right, you piece of shit. Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. Yeah. So, my puppies aren't doing nothing to anybody. He's 1,000 fucking feet away. I don't even hear when his damn dogs are barking, so... Yeah, right. No, fuck you, motherfucker. It's just them being fucking stupid. You know, I don't know if you saw Django, but they're sitting there killing that black dude, and they're just snickering, right? Just, ha! Just like a bunch of fucking hyenas. So that's what I imagine that Robert, douchebag Kenneth Capen Jr. and Robert the ex-con, I imagine that's what they're doing, just snickering, just, you know, like hyenas, thinking that they're really accomplishing something when they, but see, they want to rob me, right? That's why they're fucking, they don't like that. So anyways, yeah, that's what happened, right? So I called the police immediately, and the police, they, you know, snuck up here pretty good. They were able to get right here in the front of my house, right here in the driveway in the front of my house, and I was sitting there telling them how, you know, Robert the ex-con has been shining his light at me. Well, typically when the cops come out, you know, all the criminals, they're very sneaky. They followed like the cops out, or they'll go up in the hills, or they'll, I guess, you know, that's douchebag Kenny stayed out in the Bureau of Land Management in Kenneth County to avoid being held to account for his constant nonstop criminal activity. Nonstop criminal activity. So yeah, right. I'm sure he's not connected to the criminal bullshit that was here before. I'm sure he's got nothing to do with the criminal bullshit that was here before. But these are oppressor, you know, fucking criminal. It's just, right, they just want to hurt people, and they don't have a conscience, so they just want to take what's in your hand and then snicker and just be abusive as fuck. Here I'm like, hey guys, let's have democracy, and let's be unanimous and make sure we all vote on... And they're like, nah, let's just be a bunch of criminal fucks and burn people's houses down and, you know, intimidate good, law-abiding, peaceful, working-class families. That's who these criminal motherfuckers are around here. That's who the Mickey Mouse KKK Club, that's who they are. It's been, you know, it's been nonstop. Let's see. Robert the ex-con, his phone number is 720-692-9033. So actually, I don't know. He doesn't talk to me anymore, but give him a call, because I would really like to know why are they doing this, what was the point, and try to get the phone number of Kenneth Capen II, and also anybody else that might be involved too, because I have, you know, I don't know who killed my puppy. I still don't know who killed Tecumseh. I still don't know who killed Tecumseh. And one of these stupid pieces of shit, these hypocrite motherfuckers are like, if you have information, then you better share it, you know, but what, none of these motherfuckers, nobody knows who, I feel like everybody probably knows. And I'll figure it out eventually. But these people are pieces of shit. Ever since my puppy got murdered, some of them pretended to care, but by day 2, they were done fucking giving a shit. They can't give a fuck. They got the emotional intelligence of a scrap of frog shit, and they can't empathize, and they don't, yeah, they're not pushing for no kind of democracy or nothing, you know, so they're just selfish fucking pieces of shit. So if you guys, you know, listening to me or anybody out in the world, or if anybody has information about who murdered Tecumseh, my puppy, why did they murder my puppy, are they going to keep on murdering my puppy, who are these people, why did they do this, and maybe give me some options, like, you know, I can't see how is that satisfying. Robert the ex-con is sitting there, you know, picking on people's puppies, and, the good part, I didn't even get to the good part. So, I call the police, right, and the police, they show up, and they were very, you know, they're very incognito, they didn't have their lights on when they pulled up, and they come over here, and they had some lights on, but not like the, you know, the cherries and berries. So the Robert the ex-con and his male buddy over there, they were flashing lights for about, you know, 5 days straight. They started again on Thursday. And when the police pulled up, I'm sitting there talking to them and saying about what's happening, but it's quiet, right? They all got into their fucking corners and shit. They're under the fucking, under their beds, hiding under their beds or what have you. But about 10 minutes into the conversation, I feel like what Robert the ex-con and his male buddy was talking about was like, well, who is that? That's not the cops, no way, just because of all the light thing? No, that can't be the cops. It's probably one of his buddies. Well, if it's one of his buddies, well, let's keep fucking with him. Because if it's a cop, you can't fuck with a cop. You can only fuck with, you know, a peaceful citizen. So, once they came to the conclusion that it wasn't a cop, they flashed their lights over at my puppies. And the cops saw them. And so, the cops went over to talk to them. They were flashing their lights over at their house. And they were talking to them on the loudspeaker, telling them to come out, you know, and to talk or whatever. But they didn't want to say nothing. So it's just interesting how, you know, these tough guys, right? He's a pipsqueak too. Robert the ex-con's a pipsqueak, just like Hiram Richardson is. But these pipsqueak motherfuckers, they'll harass somebody's puppy. They're real tough fucking guys there, right? They'll harass a puppy. They'll run over a puppy. But when a cop comes by, what happened? Robert the ex-con, I thought you was a badass motherfucker, just sitting there, just fucking with my puppies and just going to keep on fucking with them till I guess the sun comes up, right? You going to fuck with my family too? I'm going to run for sheriff. There's no fucking way. No way. I'm going to run for sheriff. This is going to be a peaceful, this is going to be a good place for peaceful, law-abiding citizens. We've got to make it very clear, cut and dry. If you're a criminal piece of shit, stay the fuck out of Costilla County. If you come to Costilla County with the intent to hurt other people, stay the fuck out of Costilla County. Evil comes from weakness. If you're strong, why would you hurt other people? But if you're a weak, low-life piece of shit, well, you have to hurt other people to make yourself feel like you're tough. But I don't know. I'm not a master or a slave, because I think you're enslaved to that which you oppress. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I don't know how many times do these motherfuckers have to be embarrassed? How satisfied can you be driving by somebody's motherfucking house and just, you know, for a year these motherfucking pieces of shit have been doing this. How satisfied can you do? Oh, you drove by and you made some puppies fucking bark, some peaceful puppies that never would have bothered you? Well, you're real something, huh? Boy, you're a real daisy. You're a real daisy diamond. You're a motherfucking goddamn, what a peach. What a nice daisy diamond peach you are. Boy, oh boy. Nah, we need peaceful, law-abiding citizens. We need less Jacqueline Mitchells, less Hiram Richardsons, less douchebag Kennys, and less Robert the ex-cons. Thanks for listening.